Good evening once again. Welcome to the TaLI International Leadership Economic and Mentorship Hub graduation dinner. My name is Cosette Chirinda and I'm going to be your host tonight. I just want to welcome you all, the LEMHs here present, the guests, friends and relatives here present, and I would also want to acknowledge the presence of the Chief Executive Officer of the Gender Commission, Madam Virginia Mwaniko, and I would also want to let you know that we are going to be joined by the Permanent Secretary of Women's Affairs, who's going to be the guest of honor. I would also want to welcome the TaLI International Board members here present as well. Because of our time, allow me to go straight into the program. I would like to call upon the TaLI International Director, Ms Nyaradzo Mashayamombe, to come and give us a brief background of why we are here and why we are celebrating this graduation. Ms Nyari.
Should I come up high up there? Okay, good. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello. So if you're ever going to come here, be careful with your heels. You see, I was putting a disclaimer, just so if anything happens to me, But my name is Nyaradzo Mashayamombe. I happen to be the director of TaLI, and I want to honor the LEMHs here present. My LEMHs Murikwere. Sister. Okay, I think it's been a span. We didn't do this rehearsal, but thank you for being here. And Madame Virginia Mwaniko, we honor your presence. Mrs. Darikwa, our board chairperson as TaLI, we honor you as well. Thank you for making time. Partners here present, Dr. Tolbert from Higher Life, and other guests that I haven't seen arriving. You're welcome. Mama, those who are supporting us, Anna Dedi, my friends and relatives who came to support our LEMHs at their graduation. We really honor you and thank you for making time to come and spend it with us. So my job is to just talk about why we decided to celebrate this program. So at TaLI, we started this program called Leadership Economic Mentorship Program. The hubs part is because we've got hubs where young women are supposed to come and access some more resources around the issues that they care about, whether they want to create their own CVs or access internet and other things. But the most important part of this group of young women is that this is the first class of our program, the Leadership Economic Mentorship Program. So I just want LEMHs to clap hands for themselves. They know how to do that. I am so proud of you for having completed. So our leadership program consists of 3 stages. It's a 1-year program where LEMHs, as we call them, because it's a LEMHs program, we call them LEMHs. The LEMHs come and they are trained around leadership of self-awareness. You will hear some of them talk about how this program has changed their lives. But it talks about leadership on a personal basis. And then it also talks about leadership in the community. How do they become community leaders? When we started this program, Madam CEO, I'm happy you're here. When we started this program, we were answering the question that we're always complaining. There is not enough women that are participating in leadership positions in our country and in the world at large. And we took it upon ourselves as TaLI to say, what is one of the reasons why young women or women are less in leadership? And we realized that girls and young women participate in public life very late in life. Why? Because of sometimes religious beliefs that says women should be quiet, and sometimes expectations, traditional expectations that young women, you don't speak out in public, even at home, and immediately when you kind of grow, you are expected to get into marriage, you become murora. It's even worse because you're expected to be a quiet one. And so at the end of the day, we realize that we then complain about women not making it in leadership, but we are never thinking about, encouraging them to participate when they're young. So that is the fundamentals of why we started this program, to make sure that there is enough young women, there is enough girls, there is enough women who are taking part in leadership processes. But also it answers the question of economic empowerment. Zimbabwe has got the Women's Bank, and the Women's Bank last year told us that women only benefit 10% of the national income, yet we are 52% of this country. Why? Because women, again, they participate later in leadership, they participate later in things that are meaningful. Therefore, you find that all leadership positions, or where it matters the most, and then you find a lot of women participating in mabasa singabhadharwe, mabasa sina mari. So we then took it upon ourselves to say, we need to change the culture. We need to raise girls and young women who can lean in, who can take opportunities in their families, begin to speak out in their families, begin to speak out in their own individual lives. You find that we have young women here who were young moms who got married young, and we also have young women from universities. So because of different setups they're coming from, they were raised not to speak up. But we're saying, begin to speak up for yourself first of all. And then when you've learned to begin to speak up for yourself during our trainings, we are expecting you to go in your community. That's the second phase of that program. Go into your community, build what we call a movement. When we have all of the young women that we trained here, we ask them to say, once we train you, you need to go into your community. You need to go and train others, raise other young women, at least 10 young women that you train about. You teach also about the things that you learned from us, but also once you have created that movement that we call a movement, begin to identify programs in your communities that you can actually begin to address. So we are saying young girls and young women can be solutions in their communities. They can choose around sexual reproductive health rights, gender-based violence, information technologies, climate and environment, education, psychosocial support, responding to cases of gender-based violence. You find that these are some of the things they learn through leadership. Then they choose what it is that they love and the needs in their communities. And then they create those programs that they care about. By that we're saying they're spreading, they're paying it forward. What we taught them, they're teaching others. But they're also demonstrating within communities, saying we are young women, we are here with solutions. So when they come up with programs in their communities, they are demonstrating without shouting that young women can actually lead. And when they're doing those programs in the communities, we expect them to work with local leaders. So as a test class, I don't want to come here and pretend that it's been rosy. It hasn't been rosy. We implemented this project when there were a lot of things happening in our country. Sometimes they were able to go into communities, sometimes they were not. But we have also taken a lot of lessons learned through the program that is also improving the program forward. So that's the second stage. The third stage is the one that was spoken about, the hubs, where we are saying, we were also answering the question to say, as TaLI, since we started in 2011, we have trained young girls, young women that we never kept track with. But the creation of the hubs is some form of what's in for them. Okay, I got trained, I'm working in my community. How do I get supported? So TaLI put that structure. We're still building. And this is our class, the great class of guinea pigging. We were trying with these young women. But we have learned a lot and they learned a lot. And we decided to celebrate this moment because I feel like they will tell you how it transformed their lives. Even in the hardships that we've had as a country, we felt like we needed resources to celebrate these young leaders so that they move forward and just be the change makers. So from today on, we'll call them alumni. Alumni simply means we have trained them. They continue working with us. They continue being our leaders. But this year, we're moving forward. We're getting a new class altogether. And I just want to really just thank our partners. We would never have done it without the great support of Higher Life. I think Higher Life was the very first partner that came on board. The team was excited about this idea, a program, a framework for empowerment for young women. And they came on board, and they also contributed to the shaping of this project. As I said, this is our first class, and we're learning, and we continue learning as we go. So, Dr. Tolbert, we appreciate Higher Life, we appreciate you, we appreciate our partnership. We hope that we continue investing in young women. We also appreciate UZ. UZ is one of the partners. I don't know if UZ is here already now. We hope they will come. It's one of our partners who jumped on board, and we are also developing this manual. We are hoping this leadership program actually goes beyond Zimbabwe for young women. And we have partners like University of Zimbabwe, and we are hoping to create the curriculum together so much that it becomes, we have big dreams. So we appreciate their partnership. We appreciate the partnership of Econet Wireless. I know Higher Life is the philanthropy organization of Econet, but we also get some support from Econet. They also jumped on board, and they decided to support us. We've got a global organization that is called Global Fund for Women. They really supported us as well. They believe in girls and women's empowerment, and so we appreciate their support. We appreciate the support of all the we appreciate the support of all the ministries. Gender Commission, we were deliberate with having you here so that you are aware of this program. You meet the young women, and maybe where we didn't include you, we probably may include you, and we can do things together moving forward. But I also want, as I end this quick talk, hopefully it's been quick, I want to just end by raising some young women who are. So the reason also why we created this is so that we create champions in the communities, but not only in communities, but even within the civil society. Young women who join civil society to push the issues forward. Young women who join even public service and other things. But from this program, we are all seated in this excellence. I really want to think that this is excellence. I want to invite Tatenda Tafa quickly to the front. I want to invite Rurimbo Topodzi. I want to invite Farai Murabwa. These young women, I think I'm just going to come down because this, I'm very careful about the state of ours. Okay, I will advise that, yeah, be careful. The young women that you're seeing, where's Farai? Okay, these young women that you're seeing are part of these young LEMHs. But they are the brains behind this excellency. If I'll tell you that the effort that I put here, maybe I just put maybe 10-15% to 10. But these young women, we engage them in this program. We engage them in this program. They joined, they applied just together with others. But Tatenda did 70% of it. Who did 70%? If I did 15%, then you did maybe 60% so that others can see. But what that means is she did the rest, the most of the work. But she's one of our class. She's also a child who's being supported by Higher Life Foundation at University of Zimbabwe. She's studying law, but she also gets to volunteer a lot with us. So she single-handedly put this program together. This is part of why this program, right? So Tata, do you want to say something in 30 seconds?
Hi everyone. I don't know what to say, but I just want to thank TaLI Life International. It was a great opportunity. What the university didn't manage to give me, TaLI Life International gave me. I now have the confidence. I now have the opportunity to speak in front of you. I wasn't like that. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to thank TaLI Life International for giving us the opportunity to work with them, teaching us of the things that we didn't know. As young women, we thought that maybe it was the end of the world. But no, TaLI Life yakatipa simba rekusumuka kuti no, even waroro uchiri mwana mudiki, you can still stand up, woshanda, wozviitira zvinhu zvako kuti life irambe ichienderera mberi. Thank you.
So Rurimbo is one of the young women against the constitution of the Zimbabwe government to the constitution challenging my child marriages. She's a survivor of child marriages. But we didn't work with her during that time. We only started working with her to say, okay, she changed the law for everyone. Then what? How do we move forward? So she's actually one of the young women who support other young women. Usually, so would you want to quickly, without saying names, to quickly talk about the work that you're doing following up on cases of violence? She's working with TaLI to respond to cases of violence with others. A quick note about the case that you're working on right now.
Okay. Recently, we received the case of a young lady who was being impregnated at the age of 19. Neumwe mukomana zvokuti akabvawo kumusha achiuya kuzoshanda as a maid muHarare, and then bvaamitiswa. So akabva gara kumba ikoko achishanda samaid, but then amai ava vakamudzinga kuti chienda handichada kugara newe. So she was so stranded kuti aende akwanise kuenda kwokugara hahana, kwokuti anobatsirikana chaiko hahana. So as TaLI Life to follow up on that case, tikumubatsira pane zvese zvaari kuda, we are helping you. So we just want to thank TaLI Life International.
How are you all? My name is TaLI Mrambwa. I'm part of the young girls who went under the training year last year, 2019. And I'm currently working with TaLI Life International, helping PAMA programs and planning PAMA programs. My biggest moment and the most thing that I appreciate from TaLI Life International is it boosted my confidence. I was not able to stand in front of people and in confidence. And another thing, it taught us about leadership, and it also taught us about rights. So I so much appreciate TaLI Life International because I am, to a great extent, a different citizen. Because certain things and then I just keep quiet. Usually, so I know I need to report and I need to report. So as young women, it really opened our eyes, and I so much appreciate also the opportunities that TaLI Life International gave to me. I so much appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you. I know we are pressed for time because we're hoping to be done by 8 because we are also very conscious that my young women. But the case of Rutarana, because she's following up on those things, which is working with us. Fari, I want to celebrate her because when we did the last year training, we spread it around 20 weeks. So they would come 1 day per week. It was hard for many of our LEMHs to keep consistency. But this young woman, she's actually the chairperson of the Young Women's Committee in the organization. She never missed a day. So I really just want you to celebrate her. We acknowledge the presence of the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Chitika. We welcome you, ma'am. Thank you for gracing our moment. You will hear, you've missed a little bit of the background of but I think as we go, you'll continue hearing it. But I just wanted to celebrate the practicality of what we're talking about. Thank you, guys. Now I have the pleasure of inviting our board chairperson, Mrs. Memory Darikwa, to come and give us some welcome remarks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Hi. Are we happy to be here? Yes. I'm expecting all of us to be smiling. We are here to celebrate, right? I know it's cold, but I hope you are all ready and geared up for the cold like I am. So I'm expecting us to be excited. I'm expecting to see happy faces. Like Ms. Nyari said, I'm Mrs. Darikwa, the board chairperson for TaLI Life International. On behalf of the board, the director who has spoken already, TaLI Life staff, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this momentous occasion. The first thing I want to talk about is vision. There's a man called T.D. Jakes. He said that, everyone, every successful person has felt it. And in that message, he keeps saying every successful person has felt it. They have felt the urge to quit, right? And I'm so glad that Ms. Nyari read my mail somehow. She spoke about how it hasn't been easy, how it hasn't been rosy for us to get to where we are at today with the LEMHs. When a vision is birthed or when a vision is conceived, there's a lot of thinking that goes on. And sometimes it gets to a place of overthinking. How is this going to work out? How is this going to happen? Am I going to get support? Where am I going to get the young women to help with? Are we going to get sponsorship? You know, these are the things that go through the mind of one who conceives a vision. Whether it's a vision to touch other people's lives this way, or a business vision, education, whatever it is. But there's a lot of doubt and overthinking that goes on. But I would really like to honor Ms. Nyari for taking up the challenge. Yes, she was speaking to the CEO right here, and she said this is the question that we've always asked, that how do we resolve this problem? How do we groom women from a tender age? And this is an answer to that question. This is an answer to that call. So though you didn't quite know how you wanted to do this, though maybe it had never been done, but you know, you didn't allow the vision to die. You took up the challenge, and guess what? There are people who came through, there are organizations that came through. And I would like to make mention of Econet Wireless, Higher Life, and University of Zimbabwe, and every other organization that has supported TaLI Life International, is particularly for the implementation of this program. To our graduates, I would like to say congratulations. It wasn't easy. And I'm sure you'll hear from some of the testimonies that are going to be said here that some of our participants actually were carrying, they were pregnant when they started this program. And guess what? I attended one of the training sessions and I had to babysit, right? And I'm so excited because of the inclusivity that is in these programs that TaLI Life International carries out. TaLI Life International talks of inclusivity. It talks of men, it talks of women, it talks of boys, it talks of girls. And I'm so glad that even the young moms, even those whom society look at and they're like, okay, you missed your opportunity. TaLI Life picks them up and shows them the way that you can make it, you can make a difference. So once again, I would like to say well done to Ms. Nyari. I would like to welcome you all for coming to celebrate with us. This indeed is a great time. It's a great day for us because we are celebrating the first fruits, the pioneers, the trailblazers of the LEMHs program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dalikwa. Thank you, Ms. Nyari. Without wasting much of our time, we want to jump to the testimonials from some of the graduates. We are going to have 4 young women coming to give us testimonials of how this program changed their lives. Help me welcome 4 wonderful young women: Adele, Simidia, Natasha, and Tinashe. Ladies, can you come in that order, and can you please be quick in your testimonials? Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Adele Kudakwai, and I'm one of the young ladies who had the opportunity of being trained
under the LEMHs program by TaLI. During the course of my training, I had two remarkable topics that stirred my well-being. These topics are goal setting and self-esteem. Before my training as a LEMHster, I used to be afraid of being myself. I used to be afraid of being real. I felt like I'm not loved and accepted. But TaLI taught me to accept myself first before any of you accept me. TaLI taught me to be real. And it also taught me to accept who I am. And I now believe that I am what I am because of God's grace. It also gave me a beautiful place to know about how to set my own goals. I now know that I need to be specific, to set measurable goals that are attainable, to bring best results in time. And I have benefited a lot into this program. I am now a good leader with good qualities and properties of leadership. So they say a tree does not eat its own fruit, and a river does not drink its water. So my sisters, let us go out there and share what we have learned and share what TaLI taught us. Let us go and share. We all have the capacity to help a sister. We all have the potential to help someone. We all have the role to build a country. Our role is important. So let us stand up and fight for what is ours. Thank you.
Evening, everyone. Evening. My name is Simidi Iris. I'm one of the young girls who was trained under the LEMHs program by TaLI. During our sessions, we learned a lot that really changed our lives, the different topics. We had a session on SRHR, sexual reproduction and health rights. I was very happy to have that session because of my background, where I came from airport, when different things can happen. I was very fortunate that I was very able to ingest that, and I was able to go back and train my other young girls in my community. And also we had a session on social media. I was fortunate to be taught how to open our own accounts on Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp without going out there to those boys in the street that can open for you, that we can do it for ourselves. So with this, I want to thank TaLI for all this work that they done to us. Thank you.
Makadimese inini ndinonzi Natasha Chizakula wandakabereka anonzi Tando Lenkosi. Zvandakadzidza from TaLI. TaLI really changed my life. Inini, when I started to TaLI, I had only one child and pregnant with another one. But I didn't want to show people that I was pregnant. So as time went on, someone noticed that I was pregnant because I wanted to terminate the pregnancy because of the way I became pregnant. TaLI taught me that pregnancy, whether yauya nenzira ipi, inzira yaMwari, mwana chipo chinobva kuna Mwari. Ndakadzidziswa kuno apply maintenance to maintain my kids. And my child that time was 2 years, and I didn't know kuti anofanirwa kumaintainwa by the father. with different organizations. Like I apply for maintenance, and when I'm going to maintenance, I don't have a problem with anyone. I know kuti vana vangu vanochengetwa nemari iyoyo. The other thing that I learned from TaLI Life is ICT. Inini ndakakura mu background iri none, but I didn't know too many things. But TaLI Life International managed to help me to open an email address for myself and a Facebook account, so that the concept to access to business and so forth in the world. I thank TaLI Life. This thing I TaLI Life only. I would like to thank Vaskana Vesi, because mwana wandakaberekwa right now asi mwana wangu, mwana waVaskana Vesi. Munhu wese ari apo mumwe aiti tochinja madiapers, mumwe achindomfeeda, and there were specific people mumwe aitodainzwa kunzi chikafu chauya, uya utipe chikafu. So I didn't even have to worry kuti ndine vana two to take care of when I was coming for my lessons to TaLI Life. I thank God for that.
Pleasant evening to you all, our esteemed guests, parents, relatives, friends, lastly and most importantly, the lady who made this possible, Ms. Nyaradzo Mashayamombe. So I woke up today and I rushed to some Wi-Fi zone to research about speech writing. You know, I was quite nervous. It's the deadline and you have nothing concrete to say, yet you really have a lot to say. I don't know, maybe it's part of human nature to do things last minute, but I guess you always have to find yourself in a situation. My name is Tinaisha Kashao and I'm a law student by UZ, University of Zimbabwe. And I'm just going to share with you briefly how my journey as a LEMHs was like, because there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. So as I was reading, they said you need to be yourself. So I'm going to try and be myself, and I'm also going to try and capture my crowd, but I'm also very nervous, so please bear with me. Okay. The famous Maya Angelou once said, I've learned that people forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I'm sure most of the ladies here agree. We agree that our lives were touched in unimaginable ways by the people seated right in front of me. So today is a celebration. It's a celebration of selfless and loving people who sacrificed what they could be so they may see a greater person in each and every one of us. Of women who pledged their lives to bettering those of other women. If you try to think of all the resources that were channeled into this program, you see that a lot of sacrifices were indeed made. During my time as a LEMHster, I learned what it means to be a family, to set aside our different backgrounds and to work towards achieving one ultimate goal. And that goal was of building a wholesome young lady ready to conquer the world. We emerged from being basic girls to being women and ladies of courage and confidence. We're not people whom anyone can intimidate or take advantage of because of this program. We're people with direction, with a vision, and we're definitely achievers. We know how to handle ourselves in a corporate world. Much thanks to Miss Odlin in absentia on the wonderful lesson on etiquette that she gave us during our training. We know to stand our ground. We know our human rights, and we know we have a duty to reach out to humanity regardless of gender, of age, or social background because of this program. Like I said before, people will never forget how you made them feel. So if you ask me 10 years from now who Nyari is, my heart will definitely tell you. My heart will definitely describe her for you because she left a mark of it. on it. She showed each and every graduate here what it means to be sisters, what it means to love. Mother Teresa said that love does not need to be extraordinary for it to be genuine. It doesn't need to shout out or to be loud for it to be noticed. Love can be gentle and have far-reaching effects than that which is shouted from the rooftops. Before I take my leave, I want to assure you all that the world has been blessed with a group of wonderful, confident, and fruitful young ladies. I want to assure you that we're an investment, not a liability. We are winners, not losers, and we're definitely going to thrive to leave our own footprints wherever we go, as the pace has already been set. Much thanks to everyone who worked with Ms. Mary, whether on set or in the background, all our sponsors, our parents, our guardians, and even our partners for allowing us to take part in this program. We really appreciate. All thanks to the Almighty for making this day a success. And to Ms. Nyaradzo, keep shining. We love you. Thank you.
A round of applause once again for the wonderful youngsters. Before we continue, I would want to ask our friends from Courtney Hotel to come and to help us remove the stand here before we get straight into the next thing on the program. As they do that, I would love to invite the following people that are going to be part of the talk show, which is going to be hosted by Ms. Nyari. I'd like to invite Dr. Tolbert from Higher Life Foundation. I would also want to invite TaLI Machama, a LEMHs as well, who's going to be part of the panel. And I would also want to invite Florence Masego, a LEMHs as well, who's going to be part of the panel. I don't know if they are coming to remove the stand. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Careful.
Thank you so much. At TaLI Life, we always celebrate the brothers supporting the sisters. Thank you so much. So once again, I'd like to invite Dr. Tolbert from Higher Life Foundation to come and take a seat. He's also going to be joined by Florence Maseko, a LEMHs, and TaLI Machama, a LEMHs as well. And I would also want to invite Ms. Nyari. She's going to be the host of the talk show. Thank you.
Okay, I need to be careful. I am super nervous about yeah. You girls are brave. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Okay, you girls are brave because the stage is clear, but you're looking fly. So I've got a privilege of having this conversation where we want to talk about opportunities for young women and we are lucky to be joined by Dr. Tolbert. We were supposed to be joined by the University of Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to them, but I'm sure Dr. Tolbert will do justice to responding to us here at the stage and to responding to some of the young women. And it's going to be an open conversation for everyone because this is where we will be able to talk. So the leaders here present, feel free to join the young women. Even Mabakumba, those who came from home, those who are joining, please jump into the conversation if you've got a question, if you've got something to say. But Dr. Tolbert, we requested that you talk to young people about why young women and youths should take leadership seriously in their lives and communities. As you may have heard earlier on, that this leadership economic mentorship program has the target of raising young women who are ready to enter into leadership positions, to begin by leading themselves as young women, to transform their own lives, but also to transform the lives of the fellow young women, but also to then contribute to community, ultimately contributing to our society and the nation, raising more young people, especially young women who are ready to take leadership positions for the reasons that I cited earlier, for improving the numbers of women who are ready in leadership, for also improving the economic conditions of women. So, I know Highlight does a lot of work around empowering young people to take leadership positions. Why is it important that young people and youths, probably from a philanthropic point of view, participate in leadership?
Thank you very much. And first and foremost, I want to congratulate TaLI for this noble initiative, which I believe if we have a lot of such initiatives, definitely we'll see our nation becoming better and better. And straight to your point, well, before I respond again, once again a big congratulations to the young ladies who made it through the very intensive and engaging program. Just straight to the specific question in terms of why it's important that young women take leadership seriously. Well, a basic definition of leadership, I take it as the ability to influence. And when you look at leadership in its practical essence, it's about how one can influence their own life, as well as how one can influence the community that they are in. And we believe, as Highlight Foundation, our trust is centered around human capital development. And when we see such noble initiatives which are meant and skewed towards empowering the young woman, we quickly rush and ask how best we can assist, because we believe in the potential that the young girl has. And we are also conscious of the historical imbalances that have affected or brought about some imbalance in terms of power distribution. So we are so keen on seeing girls being empowered, and we continue to invest in terms of ensuring that young ladies are equipped. And one of the ways we do so is through educating the girl child. Across all our different programs, we are so conscious and intentional about making sure that the girl child is empowered. And to date, we have seen out of the 250,000 young men and women whom we have educated, a very significant proportion of that are young women. And I believe, I tell you today, that these are doing wonders in their respective communities. I will share more as we proceed. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Dr. Tolbert. You touched on the issues of the deliberate action towards developing human capital. And when you support programs like LEMHs, the LEMHs program, especially women, you're addressing what you've mentioned about the historic imbalances where girls and young women and ultimately women are left out. And we are happy also, thank you, Madam Permanent Secretary again, for making it here so that you meet some of the young women that you also attest to the work that we're trying to do to answer to support the work that the ministry does of empowering women and also developing communities. And Dr. Tolbert, you touched on your deliberate efforts. And the beauty of this program is that when you look at the supporters, financial supporters of this program, also those ladies from the government, it's so, I think you must be proud that you hear that the local companies like Higher Life, Econet, have deliberately supported this. Why should other companies or other organizations deliberately put on their programs to support work that is usually, companies don't usually support?
Thank you for that great question. The research years it that, if I may quote some key statistics, if you look at the companies that are listed on our Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, out of a recent survey that was done amongst about 403 people who sit on boards, only 18% of that are women. And if you look at some of the key challenges, if you take a nosedive into some key statistics around education, you find that there are a lot of challenges around dropouts, a lot of key issues around early marriages, a lot of a whole list of challenges which we see and we live with day and night, which affect our girl child. So the big question is, what is it that corporates can do? What is it that individuals can do to close such gaps? Which makes a big case for corporates and individuals and diverse organizations to really skew their attention in terms of considering how best to empower the young women that are in our communities, and how best to design programs such as these, which are meant towards empowering the girl child socially, politically, digitally. I was so touched when I heard about the ICT empowerment by one of the ladies, which is very key in this 21st century. Thank you.
And I think you also must know that the digital part was done at Muzinda Hub. We actually partnered with Muzinda. And Muzinda is a platform that, is it a Higher Life or an Econet program? Yes.
It is both.
Okay. So again, you can see that there is more resources that have been deliberately put into our young women, because right now you can't talk about empowerment when young women are not online. How do they send a basic application for employment? And part of what we spoke about was the fact that we are providing platforms such as hubs where they come and apply for jobs. We learned, they were also taught about writing a CV and some of those things. And also we needed to acknowledge Global Fund for Women. That was also part of that support, because everybody put in resources together. And I'm joined to my right by some of these fly young women. Flossie, we love to call her Flossie. I think it will be difficult for me to really always remember your name. Her name is Florence Masuku. She's one of the young women from the University of Zimbabwe who were part of this program. Also, one of the things that I think Natasha got overwhelmed in time. She didn't say, she forgot to mention was that we were deliberate in bringing young women from tertiary universities and young women from communities. And we made ground rules from day one to say, we are brought, you're coming from tertiary, you're coming from community, we are at different levels of education, but we are women. Our problems, they come together. We have the same problem, whether it's gender-based violence, whatever it is, whether you're being left in employment and things like that. And what we saw was a beautiful thing. We saw, cross relationships where close friends were coming, a girl from tertiary university being close friends with a girl who's not even going to university. We heard about babies who were being looked after. Everybody was babysitting Natasha's baby. And if you go to our Facebook page, Dali is part of our amazing pictures that we took there. Flossie, I just want you to tell us, maybe before we talk about the difficulties that young women face around opportunities, around participating in leadership. Maybe just quickly share with us how it was relating with other young women, because we're coming from tertiary. And Flossie finished her university. Did you graduate this year?
I'm actually graduating in September. I just wrote my exams. I wrote the exams and waiting for results.
So I just want us to tell us what, because I talked earlier on about how we brought you together, the community and you guys from the university. You were in your first year, almost in your last year, and Jose has been one of the most amazing because she started a club at the University of Zimbabwe. Maybe touch a bit of how it was just you as young women coming together, but also then talk to us about responding to the issues of opportunities.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Nyaradzo. Like she said, I'm Florence Maseko. For me, it was a kind of hectic to come up with people to support my movement as a leader, because sometimes people are so skeptical. They want to receive something in return and they don't know what your motives are. So they are busy, they're out there waiting for you to give them something in return for the services that you want to offer. So that was the major challenge that I had in recruiting people to become part of my movement and in leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Flossie. So I think you jumped into talking about some of the difficulties that you as a young leader faced in trying to then roll out this. But I wanted you to share also about how it was joining the group when you started with us, joining the from orientation to the training, when you met, when you realized, oh, there were other young women who probably not, you couldn't tell that she was pregnant, and then suddenly we've got a baby, 2 babies on board, and then it'll be boy that just a baby as well. So I just want you to kind of share with us how it was for you to come together as young women from different parts, and then the gelling that we saw, the love that you guys then, yeah.
Okay, I would start by my experiences. Like, personally, I'm one person who relates better with boys than with ladies. So for me, it was quite a great experience. It was difficult at first, but with time, I learned sisterhood. I learned that I'm my sister's keeper. So I learned to love a sister and to come down to their to come to their level and to be empathetic, right? So basically, that's what I learned, and for me, it became an amazing journey, and I really enjoyed being part of the sisters. And now I can be, I think I'm a great sister, and it really changed my life.
I think you are a great sister. You've been you are one of our shining LEM stars, if I can put it that way. So you've already started a program. You registered TaLI. We were never at the University of Zimbabwe. We were not planning to be at the University of Zimbabwe because we were like, we want to be in the communities. But when we saw you pushing, we are not going to stop progress moving forward. And we thought like this is the whole essence of us starting, leadership movements. So if the leaders want to be at universities, so be it. Miss Gamu was one of the youngest of our young women. How are you, Gamu? How old are you now, Gamu?
Well, I'm turning 19 next month.
So she's still 18. When she joined us, she was 17, and she wasn't going to school. She was not yet going to school. So, Gamu, I want you to talk about what the journey has been, but I also want you to then talk to Dr. Tolbert about some of the difficult things because he spoke about how Econet and them are investing in young people. How has it been impactful? How realistic has it been? We already had Flossie saying that sometimes getting out to the university and inviting other young people to say, hey, join my movement. I want to teach you what I learned, but I also want to work with you so that we become the solutions. How was it for you joining the program? And then maybe we can talk about your leadership.
All right, my tabasa, Ms. Nyari. Joining TaLI Life International was something I wasn't expecting last year. It just came from nowhere. Then the Angoti this time the Huja Shuripo, they can teach us in D&D Coco. Then the first day kind of orientation, I always talk about this. The Vandango or Ramoyo because times that I can to shake, net times that also she got director. And then out nothing those were able to sit up on Papanapa, check the food. Then we focused on the first training, I missed it. Then launch, I was there. The guys were consistent. Then the Nangana Bora Moyango, I see Kusangano never sisters, Agata Sana, Fariana Manda, ndanda kunzwa kuda kuramba ndichiuya nekuona Ms Nyari zvavaitaura kwavakabva nepavanga vave nekusangana nevamwe vanhu vari successful muno muZimbabwe ndozvakazondipa simba rekuti ndirambe ndichiuya ndichidzidziswa. Ndandiri mudiki zvangu but ndanda kuzvona kunge ndandakureba mazuva ano chaiwo ndakuzviudza ndega kuti papfungwa ndinenge ndikuti kurei asi panyama zviri kunetsa. Then tichiuya kunyaya iri kutaurwa yekuti isusu sema-young women tinotomera sei kuti tiline in for opportunities is because inini gamu ndikada kushaya kuenda kuna kansela ndikavati ndine campaign andida kuita so vanobva vatanga kubvunza kuti saka wakuisa maresources achona unawo here ndikati kucancel haikwanisi kubatsira here vanokudza kuti haikwanisi vondiudza kuti unofanira enda nemaprocesses akaita seisese ndobva ndaora mwoyo nazvo. Like recently muna March ndakaenda kwakansela zvikanzi zvonizvo kana usina tsamba yekuorganization kwako haukwanisi kuita zvawada kuita. Ndobva ndatsvaga tsamba ndakaita 2 days ndandatone tsamba ndobva ndapuwa tsamba ndadzokera kwavari zvikanzi you know what you have to wait for me for some weeks and then this and that. Izvozvo inini ndechida kuti zvinhu zvifambe ivo vanenge vachida kuti zvinhu zvimbodileya timbotanga tenda kwamajesty tadi aiwa plus futi vanofunga kuti semwana mudiki ndinechida kuwasta time asi ndine chandinoda kuricha ndo zvinofanira kuziva vanhu vechikuru kuti isusu vanawo tine zvatoda kugainawo patoda kusvika munofanira kunzwisisa kuti mwana uyu abva nepi chichazombota fungo izvi. Manje zvino ndikasvika ndikati ndiri kuda kutanga kutengesa mapendi panapa mamati mari yacho newanepi ndiani ari kukubatsira votanga kutatsa background kuti nini ndinogara mudziva rasekwa unozviwana kupi mai vako ndiani zvakazodai zvakazo dzimwe nguva mumhangu anogona kunditi iwe ukuisiri kutime ungusiyana nayo but mwana wacho.
Oh my God. So it's so good. You see, we've got young women who can tell truth to authority, including Ms Nyari, for coming late at the opening day. I'm sorry, Gab, you never told me that. But I'm sure I had a good reason for it. But by the way, the my leaders are not okay. Yeah, but I really. But I think what we're learning is young people, young women, when they are also assisted to have a voice, they do have a voice. Yeah. If Gamu could tell you also of her story, of how she changed, I think in the campaign mic she's not so podora about that issue, but she represented herself in enrolling at the poly. And but maybe without details, Gamu, just maybe briefly tell us, could she also, is when you were in TaLI, when you joined us, you were not at college, and how maybe your being trained as a leader assisted you to represent yourself. Don't give us details, just maybe briefly tell us how you represented yourself. Could you made us say, I say my details account.
Last year, 2017, I all level. Then pakabuda ma-results zvisizo zvandaifungizo ndozvichaitika, then ndakapiwa ma-suggestions akawanda, then ndakazomeka final decision kuti ndoda kuenda kupoly tonoita course at least zviri nani. Then this year ndaka-applya last year muna September pakabuda advert, then ndaka-applya different departments nchiti kwabuda ndokwandoita sei kwandobva ndaenda. Apana kwakabuda ndakashayiwa zita rangu kwese, ndakabva ikoko musodzi rumaziso kupinda mukombi kusvika kumba. Mama akati musiye acheme nekuti kugara pamba kunorwadza vamwe vachienda kuchikoro. Ndakarwadziwa kusvika handizive kuti kusvika papi. Then ndakadzokera zvakare ikoko ndobva ndasangana nevamwe ese zvikanzi mwanangu ndokwanisa kubatsira sinofanira kunipa iye drink. Ndakangobati, you know what, ndino police. Vakangosiyana neni, ndibva ndasangana nevamwe vacho nobva nditi no, it's fine. unokwanisa kuwana nzvimbo, just reapply, then I will help you from there. Saka ndakatozowana nzvimbo nangova uzoti, you know what? Police knows you.
Well, there's more to this story now than Nanganda, but she represented herself. Yeah. And she was stubborn. She went more than 3 times. And she stamped the authority at some point to say, I'm not leaving this place until you give me a place. And I think for me, that is the boldness that Zimbabwe needs in young women. But Dr. Tolbert, you have told us how it's important for organizations like yours to participate in the development of young women and investing in communities. But they have real challenges. Like, could we take programs Zimbabwe mono? It's just many nema supporters okay, it's time to train man. But on the it should be sustainable. Isn't that money all the time? The expectation sometimes imari. Gamu akataura nema issues anosangana nonana kansela vanomutatsira pasi vanogozuti vanorebesa munamato kusvika zvinhu zvanetsa kuitika. How would you assist the young people, them and other young people, to say, how does a young person maneuver such tough terrain but also still remains a champion in participating in the development in their communities?
Thank you very much, and the touching and vivid examples that you ladies are sharing. Let me talk about 3 key things. The first one is patience, passion, and perseverance. When we are earlier on, yes, I shared a bit about leadership and highlighted that it's about influence. And definitely in a world that we are living today, there are a lot of challenges which the young lady, the young woman is facing. But I must say, such challenges shouldn't be a barrier. Why am I saying so? If you look at all the successful women, all the successful leaders that we see, that we read about, it also boils down to a common point, that if somebody has a vision which they are really passionate about achieving, they will really remain bold and stand firm to achieve that. And my major advice to the young lady and the young woman who is here, the world will never say problems or challenges are over. Instead, we have even more and more challenges piling up, to the extent that we have a plethora of challenges that always say no to a big dream that you have. And in terms of you as young ladies standing up to the occasion, being bold to the cause that you stand for, having clearly written goals, all those are fundamental for you to achieve what you desire to achieve. But from a practical perspective, I mentioned that as ILI Foundation, our trust is in human capital development, and our work is currently anchored on 5 strategic pillars. And I'm proud to say one of those pillars is girl empowerment. And the last pillar that I want to discuss and highlight, which connects to responding to Nyaradzo's question, is on leadership and lifelong development. And under this pillar, we speak loudly about mentorship. So I urge the young ladies here that yes, we may recommend a lot of solutions, a lot of panacea to the different challenges that you may face. But my quickest advice is look for a mentor, especially amongst the goals that we may have set. We have a lot of exemplary leaders, be it men and women, who have really managed to overcome some barriers that were as huge as mountains, but they are overcome, and some of them have great stories to tell and can really hold your hand and also guide you towards achieving your goal. So we have a whole fully fledged mentorship program in ILI Foundation under our leadership and lifelong development pillar, which young ladies can also take advantage of. And we are hearing very great testimonies in terms of the success stories we are hearing. So that's what I can highlight for now.
Oh, thank you very much. At this stage, I want to open it up to all of us. You're hearing Dr. Tolbert, the young women here. You're also hearing me. We want to open for any questions or comments. Immediately there's a hand in the back, 2 hands in the back actually. So you have hands. I'll take those first 2. if you have a question, we'll follow up. Can we have another mic being given to these young ladies? I think the guy with my microphones are up. If you can come, guys, and use this microphone quickly. Sorry? Yeah, I think you can actually shout from the center there. I think, yeah, we can. Come a little closer, and then I'm sure we can hear you. I saw the young.
Okay, my question is, as a young woman, I may not have the chances to go maybe on internet to search for higher life websites and know more about my opportunities. How do I lean into my opportunities, like do I start my own business or my programs I'm looking at young people? How do I lean on those opportunities? Those companies are saying, my opportunities.
Ruvimbo is one of the young women that we spoke about, who is also coming from community. I want to believe that maybe ESA, a young woman representing others, she might have an opportunity or access to internet, maybe through TaLI. But how about that young woman at the community? Don't access the same opportunities.
Okay. Well, thank you for highlighting that. Well, I will just speak from a practical perspective in terms of some of the key programs and initiatives that we have running, which are running, and one of them that I want to highlight is volunteerism. You are aware that the nation was hit by Cyclone Idai in the recent months in March. You are also aware of some of the national level challenges that have been affecting our country. I will take you back to the cholera outbreak last year in 2018, and we have, as Highlight Foundation, under our leadership and background development pillar, initiated a volunteerism program, and we are also present in all the 10 provinces of our country, where we see quite a lot of community girls, young men and women joining hands also to give to the community through giving their time, their efforts under this volunteerism initiative. But of course, we are in a digital world. I will also highlight that, yes, if you visit our website, you can be able to see quite a lot of information that can guide you in terms of what is there. But beyond the Highlight Foundation, I see a lot of youth-driven organizations out there which are doing amazing things, right from credit access, right from access to technical skills. All that is available for us. Sometimes it takes courage to ask those around us that, how have you achieved this? Where can I get information for A, B, C, and D? Let's take time as aspiring leaders to read around and to search around for information so that we break all these information asymmetries which may affect us to access economic empowerment opportunities. But I say the world is always pregnant with opportunities, but what stands in between opportunity and that one who is seeking the opportunity sometimes is just information or just that edge to say, I can do it.
Well, thank you. You had that over and above TaLI, there is a myriad of organizations in our communities who are doing a lot of things. And Highlight is already mentioning that they are across the country with their, I know, Monotma SBUs.
Social business units, yes.
Yes, so wherever you are, maybe you're actually joining us online. Higher Life is in every province. So just find where exactly are they. We are also hoping that we can partner with Higher Life in making sure that we have hubs where young women and youths can access internet across the country. That is the dream of this program. There was another hand. Yeah, please shout it. Miriam, I think I saw you first.
Okay. My question is, I'm Miriam Kasim. I work for TaLI Life International in the Midlands Province. Our main office is in Neo-Osho. Neo-Osho is a student community where most of the young women are getting into problems because they are easily moved by the student life in the area, making the area a main hotspot of HIV, early marriages, sexual violence, and everything. So my point is, as Higher Life, as you are the first to jump into the LEMHs program, may you kindly maybe assist in cascading the program so that we have students being made role models so that our communities are not easily affected by the way the students live in our areas. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think Miriam is saying that we have an office in Neosho in Guerrero, and she's always saying that the lifestyles of young people, young women, especially in universities, is actually spilling into the younger girls in the communities who are not particularly in universities, where they try to emulate the fast life the other young women Barima universities are, and then it's resulting in, you know, HIV and child marriages. So I think this is a request for her to say, okay, how do we ensure that we have more such as this, maybe to probably as some of the higher life young women or youths that you support to be part of this, so that they become probably part of the solution. I am being flagged for time, so.
Like I mentioned earlier on, that I'm sure throughout the LEMHs program, the young ladies here were taken through a number of modules, and some of the key issues that you learned were around goal setting, which is very key to actually guide one in terms of what they want to achieve in life. And of course, in relation to how best such an initiative can be scaled to other provinces, it calls for more hands on the deck. Like I mentioned earlier on, that the success of this initiative is an important impetus or a basis to sell this program. We have the Gender Commission here represented, and also our different government run programs, where if we have a successful pilot like this, we have a better position to really sell it and see how best more resources can be put together to scale it up and obviously reach out to those innermost parts.